coming right there.
All right, hey gents and lasses, welcome back to the final episode of our Roundtable of Woe, where we've brought in Fit to Fight Republic. We have Ryan and Amber here. If you guys have not subscribed to their YouTube channel yet, I got nothing for you. I don't. You're not trainable. You might as well just tap out and prank yourself right now. All right, seriously, secure your own airway and leave your mama's basement, never to come back. But for the rest of you that are going to stay here, we are down to our two final questions. All right, I guess that means I got to read them. So, question number 25. I always liked a different perspective on field expedient improvised weapons and using them in the close confines of a plane or bus, etc. He's talking linear targets, trains also, okay, whatever. I've never been in a gunfight on a train. You guys do a lot of fighting in planes and stuff? I understand where he's going with this, I do. All right, I know personally, I've been preaching to my family for years about using the Sky Mall catalog and always carry a space pen because of its rigidity.
Rigidity.
There it is.
She's my grammar coach. Rigidity. All right, I'm going to open it up to form here. Field expedient weapons, things that you can bring with you on an airplane, that you're actually allowed to have, and improvised weapons, things that can be found on an airplane that can be used as weapons. I want to go first so bad, but I'm not going to do it. I'll start with, she's got the coolest one of all.
I've got giant crochet needles in my backpack. Don't know how to use them for their intended purpose, but if I have to stop somebody, getting stabbed with a crochet needle is probably going to be super effective. So that's something that's TSA approved. I mean, they're really long.
Do you carry
really
like
big.
a thing of yarn with them?
Nope.
No.
Really?
No. Yeah, no,
I
not
would've
even.
figured
No
that.
guys,
When you tell
nothing.
a lie, you gotta tell the whole
I have
lie.
carried these
I don't have
all
to
over
say
the
anything.
world.
Crochet needles.
I've carried them to Europe, Thailand, French Guyana. I've never been stopped.
Do you at least have a
that's
sweater?
No. Like
It's approved, period. I mean,
Anybody
if
ask
they
about
yarn or
them?
not,
No,
it's
I've
approved.
never been asked about them.
No.
But I mean, look. So, Sky Mall catalog is a little dated now, but
COVID.
maybe it comes back. I don't know. Carrying a space pen. There are things that aren't regulated that are still, you can use for whatever. It's using your mind, right?
If you
We've
know how
talked
to
about
fight.
that a bit.
That-
If you know
that
how to fight.
part.
If you have the delivery system, anything is
Because
a weapon.
again, you can have crochet needles, but is the average person, does the average person have what it takes to take a crochet needle and stab somebody in the neck with it?
Ow, my subclavian neurovascular bundle.
Well,
Probably not.
I mean, that's a
Right?
very good
Point,
point.
right?
Targeting
Because the
is
mindset-
important regardless of what kind of fighting art you do, right? Whether it's shooting or archery or Krav Maga or Taekwondo or whatever, or Kendo, right? Your targeting is super important, and whatever weapon you have has to be used in an appropriate fashion for what that weapon's effect can be. So any improvised weapon, you look at its classification. Is it hard, right? Is it soft? Is it sharp? And then you can classify based on that weapon. Is it long? Is it short? Should I throw it? Can I hold it?
And it
Right.
comes down to whatever kind of improvised weapon. It's like an improvised tourniquet. You need to know how to use a tourniquet first. So if you're using her marlin spike, basically, you need to understand the different techniques to fight with a shank.
Yep.
All right. A Sykes-Fairbairn dagger or something, similar attacks. Using a rolled up Sky Mall catalog or the piece of the railing off the side of the flip down tray, it's metal pipe, right? Basically, so you need to practice strikes with basically an ass baton or something like that. A cane. Cane is something you can carry on a plane. I've got two bad knees, not just one. Could I get by carrying a cane? Probably could. Now, you specifically mentioned carrying a space pen. That is not an improvised weapon. It is basically a expedient, but it's also a concealed weapon. you are bringing it with the intent to use it as a weapon, so that you are given that forethought. You're going to use it. Yeah, you can use different Kubotan blocks and everything else with it, strikes. But your main purpose is to stab with it, just like she is with hers. Hers, they apparently have not taken. I see about 1 in 5, 1 in 10 pens being taken from people at airports because they are the TSA. You got to remember, you take a job at TSA when your career wasn't really working out at McDonald's. Okay, so you don't have the sharpest tacks at TSA. If you work at TSA, I'm sorry, you know I'm just poking you with a stick. But my point is,
or a crochet needle.
No, really not. They are on the lookout for certain things. I have had ferro rods taken off of my keychains because everybody knows you can blow up a plane with a ferro rod, which is no, you can't, by the way. But so just understand that. Don't just think, well, it has to be a store-bought weapon like a space pen. There are lots of other great weapons out there. We were talking about it earlier. It was actually a guy with a bike that had 2 padlocks, and he had it ran on the outside of his book bag, and he had bike stickers and all this. So he was a triathlete, and I thought about it, and me and Chad Mormon, he's the one that read the Carl, that's so 20 years old. Just make sure that second padlock is, when you're holding one padlock, you want the other padlock to stop before your elbow. And that's so if you miss the guy's head or you hit and it comes back, you don't get the scar in the top of your hairline. There are lots of improvised weapons. Guys, even carrying a simple rubber band, you can roll up paper, put the rubber band on it. Newspapers, there are people that bring newspapers on the plane. I watched a little old lady next to me on my way to Vegas. I was going to be teaching improvised weapons, escapology, stuff like that. But she popped the DVD tray open on her laptop. And I looked at it, and it was one of those that wasn't a full DVD. It was kind of like a sickle. And I thought about it, and I was like, oh, I could snap that thing off, and it had a nice sharp edge already, thin for DVDs, and you could hook knife somebody in the throat with it. And then it dawned on me, I'm sitting next to a 6-year-old lady fantasizing about snapping her DVD tray off and hook knifing someone in the throat. That's when I decided to change subjects.
The voices.
Those voices again. All right, so other ideas. Emery, things that you can carry on plane, you've seen carried on plane.
Your bag itself, right? There's a lot of stuff. Where I'd like to divert this a little bit to from using a weapon on a plane to ways you can use your body on a plane. Because your body in a confined space, as opposed to an improvised weapon that you would find on a plane, can be a lot more effective, right? So, think about how to use yourself. If you, if there's space in the aisle or whatever, and you run up and you at least go and tackle that person or shoulder them and things like that, you're getting them offline. You're getting other people a chance to jump on them. There's a lot of other creative ways to think your way about solving that problem. And so just thinking about an improvised weapon is good. That's a good start. You're improvising. Improvise some more, right? Expand your mind a little bit more and think outside the box. There's a lot of good tools. They have bottles sometimes. I guess they don't really use glass so much anymore. But really, there are many things with your body. And again, just like any other thing, and we just mentioned it a few minutes ago, if you're not ready to fight, it doesn't really matter what you have, right? So especially in a place that doesn't allow actual weapons. And so if you're thinking your way through problems like that, go learn regular fighting. Then start applying whatever skills are right for you to employ other places. Try to think of how they fit in confined spaces. We do a lot of confined space fighting where I'm from. We do a lot of drills, in Krav Maga in the Army. You get your whole team on a bus, and you get boxing gloves and mouth guards. And both the doors are open, and each person one at a time. You get on the front door and you have to fight your way through the whole team and get off, and then you get back on, and then the next guy gets off, and he has to fight through the whole team, through the bus. Everybody's standing in the aisle. And that's really, it's aggression. It's aggression. And you cannot replace aggression. Right? You need it.
You have to have skills. I think we beat that in enough. There's nothing I can tell you in a video that can arm you with this. Knowledge is always going to be your best weapon. Okay, you've got to understand that. But when it comes to improvised weapons, it is a mindset that you are always armed with something, right? When you sit down, what could I use as a weapon within 1 meter of me? If there's nothing within 1 meter, which, by the way, I've got tons that I can use here. I've got this cord right here on my mic can be used as a garrote. Not to mention the pistols, the knives, everything else, right? Chairs, sitting on a chair. If you have nothing within 1 meter of you, what do you have within 5 meters? On an airplane, you act like, well, there's no weapons on an airplane. There are fire extinguishers on an airplane. There are so much. Think about what's just right above your head, overhead bags right above you, laptops. Tell me you couldn't beat somebody down with an iPad.
What?
I'm here to tell you, get old phones that you no longer use and go and do strikes with them. Hammer blows with an old phone, and you'll be like, you know, you can tear up a rubber mannequin pretty good with a phone. I'll get you a new one.
If you're too worried about it on an airplane, then it kind of points to the elephant in the room that you probably don't know how to fight very well. Like, I'm not too worried on an airplane because at least they're limited most of the time, unless they snuck something in there some kind of way that we haven't figured out yet. They don't have the ability to bring something on there that could be more lethal than what I have. So even if it's a box cutter like the 9/11 days, right? So like they don't have a lot of standoff with that. I can get close without them necessarily cutting me. It's not a blade that sticks out where they can still cut my wrist when I grab them. They don't have a gun to reach out and touch me. I just walk up and I get a hold of them, and then I hope my buddies join in. Yep. I'm gonna get a hold of you, and there's nothing that you can have that is gonna surpass or what I have to bring to the fight, right? So I'm the equalizer. I got the training. Like I'm now trains and buses may be a little bit different, but a plane I feel pretty safe. Besides the plane being in the air flying, and that's scary.
Well, here's another piece, right? We're talking about improvised weapons. Break your mindset of the traditional way to see weapons, right? If you have a cup of hot coffee, that coffee's not going to kill somebody. But if you're close enough to that person and you spray that in their face, that's going to distract them long enough for you to employ another skill and give you an opening with that within that engagement, right? So even if you have a cushion, right? A cushion blocks view. Use things as distractions to buy yourself that space or to buy yourself an opening, to trip somebody, right? Be creative.
No, I mean, even if it's a cup of water, I mean, you're going to get some kind of response, right? Like, if it buys me time to close that right, it may be enough. I mean, I carry a big carabiner on my backpack. It's a great pistol.
You just gave away my secret weapon, man. That's so uncool.
I didn't give away my secret ones.
And he still got a secret head kick. So.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Now it's public anyway.
He carries it everywhere.
I would rather you guys bring extra medical gear on the plane.
Yep.
All right, there are weapons everywhere, guys.
Yep.
There's weapons everywhere. But medical training to go with that medical gear, combatives training, everything comes down to having mad skills. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is going to be your best weapon all the time. I'm pretty sure that's the
President's calling.
All right, that brings us to our last question ever. Third-party defense when the third party is a child, toddler, or even an infant. All right, so you guys understand. You get in that situation, you can't break contact because you have the toddler there. We're not talking about just
learn how to fight.
Is it okay to say make more? Make more babies?
Yeah, that's why I got 5. I got a whole fire team of support.
Now, what does it come down to, Ryan?
You got to be able to fight. If you can't fight one-on-one on your own, you surely cannot do it while also protecting a small child or holding a small child or whatever it is.
I got 3 guys that just came down the stairs from upstairs. They got some hot pockets. They're back in their mama's basement, and they did not hear you say that properly. Say that one more time.
if you cannot fight one unarmed human being on your own, you cannot fight and protect somebody else, especially while holding somebody else or moving somebody else, or like, and I know this isn't the topic, but knife defense, gun defense, all that kind of stuff. If you can't fight one unarmed human, there's no special knife technique or gun technique or stick technique or any of that stuff. You have to be able to fight. And we run drills where we literally put people in a boxing ring, and it may be 3, it may be 4, it may be 5, it may be whatever, but my job is just to not let whoever is there get to this person. And it's one of the most enervating, tiring, exhausting drills we do, because now it's not just me anymore. And not only do I have to protect this person, but this person's moving, because they don't know what they're purposely doing things that a child would do. They're moving, they want to grab, because you could say
drill.
Because you could say all day long. Let's say, all right, well, let's say you've got a 13-year-old boy and his mom, and let's say mom's well trained, and mom's like, they got code words and all this stuff, and he gives the code word, and you're the son, and you're supposed to. No 13-year-old boy is going to leave his mom.
Yeah.
Something's getting ready to go down. So we could point.
And where do you think his mind is going when he's scared?
Absolutely. So now I know that it's not going to just be me. It's going to be me and this other person. And one of the best ways to get your ass kicked is to have to worry about not only the threats in front of you, but making sure that this other person is protected and behind me. Because now my focus is split. So having a plan is a good thing, but don't always count on it, especially if you're dealing with kids, with children, because they don't want to leave if it's a younger child, they don't want to leave what's safe, and what's safe is mom or dad. If it's an older child, especially if it's a boy, they're not going to leave mom to deal with whatever that problem is.
Right.
So learn to fight, put stress to it, learn to fight other people while having to worry about
add the complexities after you've got that fundamentals or the foundation down.
Don't just think that there's some secret technique, because it's different doing like third-party protection for a family member than it is like EP work, right? There may be some overlap in principles, but the ultimate mission is a little different, and so those skill sets aren't going to always.
And I think the emotional stress that you're going to feel is going to be different.
100%.
It's going to be different. I don't know you, or you're just a buddy versus my kid.
Yes.
And I'm very emotional. I'm going to have to control that.
And you can, in your training, you should be, it won't be an exact replica, but if I'm training and I'm doing a third-party situation, in my mind, I should be thinking about, okay, that's my child, or whatever it is, to bring that up so that you get more from your training. Because it's really easy to just be like, that's Jeff back there. He can handle himself if something happens, and to just let it kind of glaze over. But I can get more out of the training by making it more realistic for myself, because I'm thinking, okay, I'm in my house or I'm in my parking lot and this is my kid, and having that as part of my training is going to make it that much more valuable.
Anytime we run a drill like that, no matter who is in it, no matter how good a fighter they are, no matter what their experience level, their background, we put heart rate monitors on them. And I can watch on my phone in real time what's happening. And drills like that, I'm talking about super fit people, high speed guys, whatever. When all of a sudden there's that other element, that person that I'm now responsible for, you see the spike.
Right.
Because it's different. And that's somebody that's not even really their child. But I've told you, this is your child. Those 3 guys are coming to get him. Don't let them get there. And you see, like, it changes. It's like a shock knife. All of a sudden, boom. It's a little shock. It's not the worst thing in the world. It sounds terrible, whatever. People freak out. But it's that same kind of thing. Okay, so now I've hit that heart rate spike. I've got that adrenaline dump, but I've still got a fight on my hands. Can I go get that? Can I go take it to them and still be aware enough to know where this person is? It's not an easy thing. None of this stuff we've talked about is easy, but I think people, like a lot of other stuff, they want, well, all you have to do is, or if this, then that, or, again.
It's never that.
No, it's not.
And even if we do tell you that, and we have the definitive, absolute way to handle that situation in that exact moment, can you implement it when you're scared and you're feeling that emotion that Ryan's talking about? that's a whole nother level. Know it technically. Now how can you implement it tactically in the moment?
And now what if it's a child that you're holding?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's
Yeah.
your...
I'm holding an infant.
Yeah. And what's your physical condition now?
Yeah.
You know?
Can you?
And are you going to squeeze that infant when you get all amped up?
Combatives. That's not even one-handed anymore. You're completely handicapped yourself, and even with a firearm. Yeah, most people can't shoot with two hands, let alone one hand. Now, have you carrying an infant or?
Will they be holding the baby like this?
You're screwed.
Is it a hostage?
Plus, it's hard to have a deaf baby.
Some of the Ryan mentioned the personal security detail principles. Some of them do overlap. Obviously, when we've done the PSD drills with the shooting situation. Cover that a little bit, how you want to control what we would call the principal, who you're being paid to protect, but it's gonna be the same way with the family members. It's
gonna be very similar. Yeah, essentially what we're doing, and it's mission set, right? What is your mission set? If I'm going in to neutralize a terrorist, my mission set is that terrorist, right? When we're doing EP, my mission set is keeping that principal safe. Getting that principle to safety. EP guys were called bullet catchers, right? For a reason. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but your first reaction it has to switch from running to that terrorist to now getting this person behind you, and you have to be physical. So when you have a principle, first of all, you want to be able to train with that principle. You guys have already said that. And just like, if you scroll down in Tactical Rifleman, you'll see we did an EP drill with Rawson from Tactical Performance Center. It was a fun day. One of the things you really have to do right in the very beginning is, and Z said this in the beginning too, you put yourself between the threat and your principal. So you will, if you have to, you will just grab whatever you can, throw them behind you as you step in front of them, right? So you're moving them as you're moving yourself in front of them. In this case, as you're already also drawing your weapon, returning fire as accurately as you can. What you'll see, for example, in that video we did, and Carl, you were a superstar there, because what Carl was doing...
I played the part of the unknown non-combatant who was scared, was a little upset.
Carl did a better job than I've seen in ages, because what he did was, I was like, hey, mess with Rawson. Let me say this, Rawson has done this work. He's a professional, right? He's not just a pew-pew guy. He knows the drill, literally. And Carl was hugging on his legs and pulling on him, and intentionally. That's how we designed this drill. That's how we designed this drill. And the principal's going in the wrong direction, and the principal's yanking on the jacket, right? And that's what you have to train for this type of EP is, a complete idiot. So that hopefully your true principal is hopefully not an idiot.
Dodge a wrench.
But in this case, we have
and we go to the worst.
An infant or toddler. But back to the main thing Emery started off with is your mission. If you're being attacked, your mission is to get your family members to safety. Pick a direction, and if they won't run on their own, you need to move them in that direction. I want to say thanks again to Ryan and Amber from Fit to Fight for coming out here, flying all the way out here to glorious Kentucky, here in Louisville, COVID capital of the South, and we are proud of it. You got to be first at something. You really do.
Last at reading.
Hope you enjoyed this whole series of videos. If this is the first one you've watched, we've got 7 or 8 other ones. Lots of great questions turned in by you guys. We're going to do this again in the future. So save your questions. Don't put them down in the comment section. Don't do it. Don't do it. However, we will encourage you guys to again subscribe to their channel. And we'll see you guys at our next Tactical Tuesday live stream. Closing words from the Peanut Gallery.
Get training. We all offer training to some degree. InstructorZ.com. Come see me.
Ryan?
Whatever Amber says.
Amber?
I guess I'll say get training, come see us, fit2fight.com. We have an affiliate network, so if you're somewhere else, mostly throughout the country in the U.S., but we do have some other affiliates worldwide as well. We can help you get to some training centers that might be near you as well.
See, she did that way better than I would have.
Badass.
Yeah,
I see why you turfed that off. I do understand that. Emery, final words of wisdom.
Final words of wisdom. Well, you can come here to Louisville Armory. We have an awesome facility. We got shooting ranges. We got this dojo. This is where I work out of. We have our awesome 4,500 square foot shoot house. We do tactical rifleman training. We travel. We'll go other places. You fill a class, we'll go teach there. And if you don't go to us for whatever reason, there's plenty of other good instructors too.
Yeah.
But get trained, right? Get trained.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is going to be your best weapon ever. Get out there and train, guys. Push away from that keyboard and get outside. Get some sunshine, and you got to train. Concerned citizens need to become capable citizens. The only way to do that, you can't buy it on Amazon. You've got to get outside. You've got to get training. You guys all take care and shoot straight. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter so you don't miss out on anything.